I'm Dr. Chandra. I'm a consultant physician in New Delhi. I work at Helvetia Medical Centre, and I'm also the principal medical advisor to the European Union in India, along with a couple of other embassies here as well. Uh, the new mutants seem to be undetectable by the RT-PCR tests. For some reason, the RT-PCR tests are not being able to detect all of them. I do believe there are double mutant and triple mutant varieties that have been discovered, and it's possible that because of their change in their structure, the RT-PCR tests are not able to detect them. I do believe genomic studies are also going on to find out any newer varieties which are available at the moment. The newer variety seems to be causing some new signs and symptoms as compared to what we saw in the first wave. We are now seeing patients coming with diarrhea, abdominal pain, rashes, conjunctivitis, confusion state, brain fog, bluish discoloration of the fingers, bluish discoloration of the toes, bleeding through the nose, bleeding through the throat, apart from the usual symptoms like sore throat, body aches, fever, loss of smell and taste. They all seem to be there. Unfortunately, all testing centers, all labs, including ours, are absolutely overloaded. We are running a backlog of patients. Reports are not being able to be sent out within 48 to 72 hours. And looking at the crowd of patients and looking at the sudden rise in cases, I believe Delhi reported about 24,000 to 28,000 to 30,000 cases a day. All our labs in the city are not equipped to take such a huge load. We were not expecting this. Also, I would advise people to try staying away from crowded centers, because wherever there are crowds, there is a chance of spreading. And unfortunately, the new mutant seems to be extremely contagious, which spreads very easily. If I'm not mistaken, the Lancet India has also published a report saying that now the virus is airborne. So in crowded centers like this, where you're having tests done and where you're having people standing in crowds taking off their masks, that is a great risk. In fact, any crowded spaces. Yes, the second wave, as we can already see now, is extremely dangerous, and it is way, way more dangerous than the first wave that hit us. Unfortunately, in the second wave, the number of patients are huge. Our healthcare infrastructure is not up to date to handle the load. Unfortunately, as you've seen, we've run out of oxygen, we've run out of beds, we've run out of essential medications. At this stage, we are trying to figure out which direction the virus is going in terms of complications. We'll get to know that in a few weeks from now. The mortality rate seems to be increasing. As compared to the last time, the mortality rate is higher. Although I'll be cautiously optimistic and say that the mortality rate is still in control. A majority of patients are going back home. A majority of patients are healing well. It's a small group that goes to the ICU and unfortunately cannot make it. Like I said, I'm not downplaying it, but still so far I'm cautiously optimistic that a majority of people are healing. Now, when it comes to the role of people as super spreaders, yes, now that you see that this is such a contagious form of the virus and such a dangerous form of the virus, it is crucial for us to avoid crowds and avoid public spaces unless absolutely necessary. That would also include places for travel. If you are traveling, let it not be an unnecessary travel. When it comes to vacations, when it comes to group gatherings, please avoid it. It's just a few more weeks. We will hit a peak and we'll come into a plateau, then travel. But at this stage, avoid crowded places like airports, railway stations, shopping malls, or any group gathering for that matter. Please avoid it, because that will lead to a spread, because of this new variety is extremely contagious and also seems to be airborne.